Well guys, I'm on a treasure hunt on my way to look at a 72 Nova. It was moved from one house to another house because the city made them move it, and they wasn't ready to sell it, but I think she's got to move from over here, and it's stashed over here now. So, oh man, this is rough. So I'm gonna try and get some footage. I don't know how she might act about me filming, but there's the car right there, and I'm gonna get out and do some checking, and I'll try and get back. Well, she's gone to get her ID so I can get a copy of her ID. But yeah, we picked it up dirt cheap. It's got to go. This was their family house, and she's got to move. So let me get this thing loaded up. Well, I got the jack out, and all four wheels are completely locked. It's getting dark, mosquitoes. All four wheels are flat, so I'm waiting on a tow truck to come get it. So I'm gonna try and get it out of here. You see, it's like a country road that goes to it. Thought I can get it on the trailer, but I don't feel like banging on brake drums tonight. So I'm gonna try and get a truck to get it out of here. So I finally got a tow truck on the way, guys. Like I say, it's getting dark. Mosquitoes, snakes, bees, wasps. I don't want to be out here all night. I would love to do the unsticking the wheels and get it up on the trailer like everybody else does, like I normally do. But here lately, these cars has been fighting. But this is I think it's a 350 car. It's got, I don't know if this dealer installed AC. She said it was her late husband's car, and he passed away. And she drove it to the store, and she got pulled over in it, and her husband told her to don't drive it no more. I think she got pulled over for speeding, and like I say, it said at another location, it was actually her mom's house, and they had so many cars that the city actually told them that they had to move them. So they sold a couple of them, then they drug this one over here to their other location, which she's got to move from here, unfortunately. And they had a bunch of old cars around here, but like you say, it didn't turn out well. So I actually tried to buy this car a couple months ago. I think I did a video on it or some pictures on it or something, and they wasn't ready to sell it. They were supposed to give it to the grandson, and he actually sold the 56 Ford truck that was here, and she didn't know about it, and that's why she's wanting to just get rid of this thing. So I made her an offer. We shook on it. There's no keys. Like I said, if it was early in the daytime, I would love to get this thing where I can either drive it home or get it up on the trailer. But right now, with it being dark, and it's been sitting in this tall grass, I don't want to fool with it. So we're going to get it. We're going to get it back to the shop. Try and get it going. It does got all factory interior, which is good. As I was saying, the door cards are in good shape. It's all original. I don't know how many miles. It says 35,000. I don't know if that's original. It does got some little cancer over here on the driver's side floor, which the rest of the floor I think is solid. I mean, just look at the seats. That's the got some junk back here. Those seats are in real good shape. I mean, I've never seen bucket seats in the 72. Well, it's got one little tear, but still, even the headliner is still there. Windshield not cracked. So it's got the factory. I want to say these are the, I don't know, this kind of looks like a Ventura, but I think it's a Nova. So It is on the tow truck up there, and like I say, all four wheels actually roll, but the tires were just blowed out. And the tow truck driver was like, I didn't even know you can even get back here. I mean, the trees that hit the top of his truck. But we got it loaded though. I'm just glad we was able to get it out of there, because like I say, someone had came in and stole I think a 56 Ford truck she said she had. And she was like, oh, you can just leave it here for another day or two. It ain't going nowhere. I was like, nah, we need to go ahead and get this loaded up. So after calling a couple tow truck drivers, I was able to get one that was available. Good deal on the price. And like I say, we get these trees out of the way. We are out of here. So get some daylight outside. We'll go through it, see what the engine turnover, which I think it might not. It's been sitting for a while. Well, like I said before, it's safe and sound here in the driveway. So when I get some time, we will tear into it and see what's up with it. Good thing is the wheels are not locked up, and we can get some tires on it and move it around. And we got to get some keys for it so we can turn the ignition and look in the trunk. All right, we are finally going to dig into the Nova. We're going to see if the engine is locked up or not. Got a lot of grass, pecans, and you name it up on the intake. So what I'm gonna do, I'm thinking I'm just gonna take the fan off of it and stick a socket and ratchet down on the crank, and see can we get it to turn over that way. I don't have a key, but I do have a ignition switch that I'm going to put in it. It looked like it went to a 79 Chevy Malibu. Same switch. So let's dig into it and see what we can find out. So let's get this fan off. See exactly what's up. I tried to turn it over by hand grabbing the belts, but that didn't work. So I'm not sure if the engine is locked. Now she told me that it was running when she parked it, but you know how that's the number one thing people tell you with these old cars that's been sitting around for decades. It was running when it was parked. Sure, it was running when it was parked. They all were running when they were parked. You just let them sit up too long. Now it's not running. And these screws are long. I did find out this is a 307. I checked out the VIN number and went through it, and it said that it has a 307 in it. Not a 307 Oldsmobile. It's a 307 Chevrolet. The 283 was discontinued, I think in early 70s, like 71, 68 or 71, somewhere in there. Then they brought out the 307, and they stopped at 307 in 74, I believe. Quote me if I'm wrong. But this is a 307 V8 2-barrel. So this original engine. Now I have seen water pumps lock up over time, like they let them sit with water in them, and the water pump will make it look like the engine's locked. Because it won't turn if the belt's on it. Let's get this glass bolt out of there. I swear these bolts super long on this fan. But this fan ain't never been off. Well, if it has, it's been decades. Fan's off. We'll take the pulley off. Water pump turns. You can hear it though. It's like the bearings. There it goes. It's smoothed out. Bearings ain't been turned. Now also a compressor can lock up. Also, and that will make it look like the engine's locked. So I think that's a 5/8. I'm gonna go get a 5/8 ratchet, and we'll put that down on the crank and see what we got. So we got our ratchet. Let's see what she does. Moment of truth. Oh, she turns. She is turning. She is turning. She is not locked. That is good. Let's get the ratchet on there. She turns. Even the compressor turns. Well, that part, I don't know about the inside of the compressor, but it's not locked up, so that's good. So I just need to get all these leaves and acorns and spray this thing off with the air hose. Let's see if it's got any oil in it. It's full of oil. Could use an oil change. That's good. Factory air. That's what that says. I know down in the radiator I seen something down there. It's really low. So the next thing we need to do is I want to take the air hose and blow all these leaves and acorns and stuff. I mean, it is just everywhere. And what I'm probably going to do is still pull the plugs and put some Marvell's mystery oil down in there just to lube the cylinders, so when we get ready to crank it, if there is any stuck rings, they'll be free and the cylinders won't be dry. We want to baby this little engine. We don't want to rush it. But at least it's not locked up. It did turn a couple of revolutions, and that's good. It's really good. Hit on the hood. Let's look at the carb. I kind of peeked in there the other day. Got some acorns in there. It's got the old 2-barrel. So I know that's gonna have to be cleaned. Linkage is not stuck, so that's good. Accelerator pump probably dry. That is a Bay City. That's what that says. Bay City Chevrolet, I guess, carburetor. 2-barrel. GM jet. Look at that. GM2 jet. Man, that's probably the original carburetor. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cover the carburetor up and get my air hose, and we'll blow all this crap off the intake and around the spark plug hose, and we'll get the plugs out, and we'll shoot some lube down in there. I also had a set of tires donated to put on it till we get us some 14s to put on these factory wheels, I guess you can say, and we can roll it around. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean all this stuff off, and we'll get those plugs out. So we got all the plugs out, and I've been putting Marlboro mystery oil down in each cylinder. Got my little squirt can, and I got a hose going in each spark plug hole, just kind of filling it up, and then I'm gonna put the plugs back in. But this is the plugs off of this side. You see they're kind of crusty, so look like it might have been either burning oil or bad carburetor. They're really fouled out. So that's off that side, and these are the ones off this side, which they look the same. So like I say, we'll know once we get her all lubed up, let her sit, and get some new plugs in it, change the oil, and fire it up. If it's smoking like a crop duster, then we know the engine is going to need a rebuild, which I bet you the valve seals are all dried out anyway from it sitting. But we will find out. So I'm going to finish putting the Marvel's mystery oil in, and we will go from there. Once we get the cylinder soaked, and then we get this key switch put in. And I gotta find out how to get in the trunk, because I don't have a key. I went through all my spare Chevrolet keys, and I guess I'm gonna have to go in through the back seat, which I kinda don't want to, but the glove box is locked also, so I can't get in the glove box, and I can't get in the trunk. So, but anyway, I'm gonna finish this up, and we'll let it sit, and then we'll figure out something. Alright, so now while the cylinders are soaking with Marlboro's mystery oil, even though the engine wasn't locked, like I said, I just want to put some oil in there just to pre-lube the rings in case a couple of them are stuck, and when we get ready to fire this thing up, we won't have any compression issues, rings stuck. So let's take this steering column apart. I believe we just got to remove the steering wheel and the turn signal assembly, and we should be right on top of that old key switch. See, can we get it out of there and put in the new used one I got. Should be fairly easy to do. steering wheel's real sticky. I don't know why steering wheels get sticky in some of these old cars. I guess it's the type of material they use back then, but they are sticky and gooey. Should be able just to remove the horn button. Don't you wish newer cars were this easy? Now you have the airbags and all that old stuff. Whoops. Try not to break anything. Just push in and turn this little, I don't know if you can see that, it's like a little peg. Push in, turn, it pops out. Now we got to get a socket and a steering wheel puller. Yeah, let me grab that. These things are pretty easy to put on. Alright, so I believe this is a steering wheel puller. It's OEM part number 25258. It's made by OEM. I believe this is what you use. It's been a while since I had to use one, but if not, we're going to use it today. Really use the right tools. That screw is bent. Don't want to run in there too far. What's that, 3/4? Or 19. Look at that. Use the right stuff, get the right results. So we get the old sticky steering wheel off. Now we need to remove this plate here that covers up the key switch. I've never seen a plate like this on a GM, so this is new to me, and I guess because this is a 73 GM. I don't recall him having anything from 73. Now we got that off. Man, my hands are sticky. Now we got to use this OEM steering wheel lock plate remover. It's good to have this stuff because there's like a little snap ring down in there. You got to use a small screwdriver. Threads are kind of rusty. just need just enough. Crank this down to that snap ring. I don't know if you can see that snap ring. It's right here. So we'll get a small screwdriver, pop that out, and then this plate comes out, and you should be able to get to the cylinder. Fairly easy. Like I say, if you got the right tools, work out pretty good. So we got that cranked in. Let's see if I got a small screwdriver available. Or a pocket knife. Should just be able to pop that right out of there. Might have to have 2 screwdrivers or a pick. Let's see if I got something. There we go. All right, so now we can take this this plate off and loosen this. That's why it's always good if you working on a project and you have to buy a tool just to use one time. It's always good to keep it. Or if you have to rent a tool, you think you might never need it again, if it's cheap enough, buy it, because you might need it. So anyway, we'll take this off, and we'll take this off, and we got to remove the turn signal hazard plate. Take off our hazard light button, turn signal button or handle. And there's 3 screws in here. You might have to move your turn signal a little bit, make that flick down, so you can get these 3 screws out. I bet you this has never been apart before. This is probably the original key switch. I mean, everything, the way everything is, it looks pretty much original. Sorry about that. So anyway, We gotta remove this. Sometimes that can be a pain because the wires are still connected to the column. We got that one screw we gotta remove still. Just need it out just enough to get in there to that. Key switch without breaking nothing. Alright, now we got to remove this little thing here. It should just pick up and come out. Might have to get some ply. Oh, there we go. Never seen it come out like that though. That was new. I think we might have to get some pliers to get that out. There we go. Pull that little thingy out. I don't know what that does. I think it reads the, I want to say for the horn. I really don't think you have to remove that anyway, but now the tricky part is this cylinder is locked, so somehow we're gonna have to get in there. It's been a while since I did one of these. I don't know if you push this down. Gonna have to do some thinking on this one. It's been a while since I messed with one. Let me get a light and look off in that hole where we pulled that little thing out. So this is a switch here. Some of them have a screw that goes down through there that you have to take out, and then the switch come out. But this one is different. So let me do some figuring out on that, and I'll show you. All right, after looking through the book I got on GMs, haha, there's a little slot right here where you stick your screwdriver in there, and you push in or take a hammer and tap it in while you're pulling out on the switch, and it comes right out. You're actually pushing in on this little tab right here, and then it slides out. So let's see, I think we might have two different switches since this is a 79. This one's made totally different. So I'm gonna have to go buy a key switch. As you can see, the 79 don't have the little push-in thing on it nowhere. They're almost made the same, but the 79 actually, up in the 70s, it had that little screw that went down that held the switch in right here so it won't pull out. In the 79, I don't even think it'll even fit in there. It'd be cool if it just fit. Well, it fits in there, but it ain't gonna stay in there. Yeah, it goes right in. Look at that. But the problem is, it's just gonna pull right back out. But we can leave it in there for now. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It might not come back out. Well, I mean, we can use it because it actually does. I mean, save a couple bucks just leaving it in there. But the problem is, it won't come back out. Uh-oh. So you can use a later model key switch, but I gotta go get my camera light died. How would you get it back out of there? That's the problem. But hey, we might just leave it in there. Only thing we want to do is crank it anyway, and we can always get a key made. It actually locks. Look at that. So I'm gonna put all this stuff back together, put the steering wheel back on, and we'll get the tires on this thing and get it up in the air. So actually I did get the switch back out. I found out on this type of switch here, once it goes in, this little plastic thing pops out, and you will have to push in on it through the little square hole right there to get the switch back out. So if it's in there, if you look down through that hole, you'll see that little plastic, you can barely see it, that little plastic thing sticking down in that square. If you push up with a screwdriver, it pulls right out. I don't know what makes it flip out. I guess it ain't gravity. I guess once this pushes in, or maybe once, I don't know. Well, I think once the peg that sticks out of there pushes inside of here, it makes it flip out. But now the only thing is that little piece is going to go back in there that we pulled out. This little whatever this thing is. I'll probably end up spraying some PB Blaster in there, kind of lube it up some. But so anyway, just wanted to show y'all that you can use a kind of later model key switch. Like I say, this is a 79 Malibu. As long as we can get that other little thing in there, which I think will be fine. And that's it on that. Okay, back to this key switch deal. I'm just sitting here looking at them. This one also has the same thing, but for some reason you have to push in on this. This is the original one to get it to slide out, which on this one it don't have that. You have to push in on this little white part to get it to slide out. So it has it in there, but I guess they just put it in there and they don't do anything, but you have to push in on this. So they're actually the same key switch, same identical key switch. So okay, enough with the key switch, let's get this thing together. So back to the key switch again. I did find out that you can't put this thing in there with that Malibu switch. This is actually the key buzzer. What it does when you stick the key in there, these little contacts smush together, and they make that buzzing sound for the key. Lets you know you left the key in. But I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna leave it out. I mean, like I say, that little tab that sticks down, it don't stick down on the other switch. A little bit difference, but like I say, we can save us a couple bucks and just use this switch. Alright, so I let these cylinders soak overnight with some Marvell's mystery oil, and I just took the plugs out, and you can see it starting to leak out of the plug holes. I got the fuel line cut down here at the fuel pump because I don't want to pump whatever's in the tank into the carburetor. which it could be in the fuel pump, but I doubt that fuel pump even work. I got a good battery. I'm gonna stick a battery over in it and whirl it over with the key just to see if all the electronics work and if the starter works, and we can blow all that fluid out of there. And we'll put this battery in. I think the key is off. Hopefully we don't get a fire. I'm just gonna barely tap it on there. Oh, I ain't hear no spickle sparkle. I don't think it's had any mice action. I think it just had some squirrel action. Well, let's see what she does. Hopefully it turns over. Unplug the shop fan. A lot of you guys been saying the fan in the background makes a lot of noise, and the camera picks up a pin drop. So get you guys set up on the tripod. Little tripod action. And we will see what we got going. Hopefully this thing turn over and don't have to get on there and bang on the starter. Okay. Oh, I heard the high-speed idle kick out. Whoa. Turns over good. Blue stuff everywhere, but I kind of figured that. Probably have to get the pressure washer. But now we just need to check it for firing. Make sure it's got some fire at this plug. Get a good spark plug. I hate to blow all that oil and stuff everywhere, but you got to get it out of the cylinders. Let's see if she's got any fire. I don't know if I can see that far. Belt jumped off, which figured that. We got fire, which this is, it has an electronic distributor on it, so somebody has changed that distributor to electronic, which is good. I hate dealing with points, sanding them and cleaning them and all that old crap. Worry about them fouling. So I guess we'll get a good set of spark plugs in it, and still got to change the oil, but I would like to hear it hit off. Make sure this throttle. It's got one of those. Oh, that's your air conditioner kick down, high-speed idle thing. It sprung out when I turned the key on, so we know that works. So I'm gonna grab some spark plugs. It's got some oil in it. Let's turn it over, kind of prime the oil pump up, and maybe I can just trickle some gas in there. We'll run it for a second, and then we'll do an oil change. I'll go get some oil and filter and handle all that before we actually fire it up and let it run. Alright, so I got the spark plugs back in. I got the wires on. I'm gonna pour a little gas down in the car. I'm thinking this might be the tube that goes down to the bowl. I'm not sure. But I'm gonna dump some in there. Look like I might have to get something to hold this electric choke open. Screwdriver. Hopefully we won't have a fire. Pour a little bit in there. And we should be good. Good for a few minutes anyway. I didn't think it was going to actually crank that quick. Guess if you dump enough gas in there, it will. It's a runner, folks. Just flooding it. Got some wild, crazy motorcycle guy going by on something slow. Well, it runs, so that's a good thing. It let out some smoke. Man, he's gonna tear that thing up. But it let out some smoke, but it does run and the engine sounds quiet, so I think we're gonna be good to go on this one. Like I said, I'm gonna have to rig up some kind of fuel system. And I'll probably get another fuel pump. I don't know if I'm going to get the original fuel pump or I'm going to get an electric fuel pump and just get me a gas bottle and hook it up. But seems like to me the accelerator pump in the carburetor is not working right. I don't hear any gas. But, oh, engine sounds good to be a 307. It's got the stock exhaust on it. So, we are going to be in business. Of course, more gas in there. That little bottle ain't gonna do nothing. Well, she's running on the carburetor, and just got the gas bottle hooked up. The fuel pump does work. I can feel air pumping out of there. The only thing we need to do is just run us a fuel line to a can down to the fuel pump. And I know we gotta clean the tank out, but man, she's smoky. She is smoky. Idle real smooth. Look at that. No knocking or nothing. Man, this 307 runs so good. Just gotta burn all that old mystery oil and transmission fluid out. I'm still gonna do an oil change on it. I put some antifreeze in it, and got a little pressure there. I put some antifreeze in and put the fan back on. Let's see if she restart. Oh man. Oh. The 307 that could and did. So I'm gonna let some of the smoke clear out of here, and I'm gonna get in there and see where to go in gear. I don't know if the brakes is gonna work. Let's check the transmission. Man, that thing's stabbing. Mess out of my hand. Oh, we need to put some transmission fluid in it. So yeah, we need to fix that too. So I'm gonna shut it back off. She runs good, just smoky as hell. But I'm gonna round up some transmission fluid and get that in there and let this smoke die down. Still a little antifreeze right there. Open the garage door up. Alright, let me see if I can get some transmission fluid and let this smoke clear out of here. Well, I was gonna put some brake fluid in it, and the back of the master cylinder is completely bone dry, and it has some rust in there. So that master cylinder is going to be probably toast. I don't see the point of even putting brake fluid in it when it's full of rust down in there. So I put some transmission fluid in it. I'm going to see if it will go in gear. I got the wheels pretty much blocked off where if it goes in gear it won't just take off and roll and try and get away from me. Even though I got it idle all the way down, still should be pretty good. Shouldn't move that much. So let me see. I'm gonna fire it up. So we know it goes in gear. So I think she's gonna be alright. I honestly believe that it was parked as the lady told me, and they just didn't drive it anymore. So other than the master cylinder, and we got to drop the fuel tank. Check it out. Be cool if it was just completely empty on gas, and we can just put some fresh gas in it and hook it back up to the original fuel pump, which I think is going to work. But yeah, she runs pretty good. Still gonna do an oil change on it, like I said, before I even try and drive it. Sounds like the timing's a little bit high. Someone put a electronic distributor in it, which is not factory in 73. This should have been points model. They might have the timing a little bit off. But yeah, so just hang in there. We're gonna work towards to get this thing out on the road soon. Like I say, I'm gonna look up a master cylinder for it. None of the wheels are locked up like I thought they was. I think they was a little locked, but when he got it hooked up to the tow truck, it freed them. So we're gonna have to check those wheel cylinders. I think this is, it's drums all the way around. So we're gonna have to check those wheel cylinders and the brake hoses. I mean, what's the odds of them being good? I mean, maybe. I mean, it's set up since 2000. I just can't believe that the carburetor, once I got the gas bottle hooked to it, that it panned out really, really good. Sit here in the idle. I had to idle it down a little bit, but yeah. So just stay tuned in, and we'll get this old Nova back on the road. And don't know what the next step is. I got a bunch of people hitting me up on Facebook that want it. So like I say, I'm a Ford guy, but I couldn't pass up a deal on this thing, which I like to see it being back on the road and somebody do something with it. Pretty sure they're going to yank out the 307 and put maybe a 350 or do a LS swap. You know, that's what we normally do these days. We don't keep original motors and nothing, especially if they ain't worth keeping in there. But the 307 is the numbers matching motor for this car. So it did smoke a little bit. Well, it smoked a lot of it because of the transmission fluid and Marlboro mystery oil in the cylinders. But once that burned off, it started going away. Like I said, the plugs, when I pulled them out, they were kind of foul. So I don't know, it might have a little oil burning issue, but there's no blow-by coming out of this hose coming from the valve cover. There's not a lot of blow-by. So I believe just a good oil change, and I put a new set of well, not a new set of plugs. I cleaned the old plugs. It can use a new set of plugs, oil change, and make sure it's not running hot because it's got that dummy light instead of a actual temperature hand, which I think I might have some aftermarket gauges to put in there. But anyway, I'm gonna sign off here. Good job, good pat on the back, and y'all just stay tuned. Later.